Hey guys, it's Travis with bpnorthwest.com. Today we're going to show you how to install a Monza exhaust system on your British car. Now this is a really nice upgrade for your car, not only because it's going to give you better gas mileage, but it's going to give you a lot more horsepower. Here's a couple of the tools that we're going to need to install this system on your car. You're going to need some penetrating oil. You're going to need a couple of 9/16 box inch wrenches as well as a half. You're going to need a ratchet with a half and a 9/16 deep socket wrench. You may need a cheater bar depending on how hard those nuts are stuck on the old system. For the installation, you're going to want some anti-seize, and then you're also going to need either a hacksaw, or if you have a sawzall with a metal blade, that's going to work best. We need a couple of ramps or jack stands for the car. That's the first thing we need to do. Throw the e-brake, put it in gear, jack it up, get them stands under there nice and secure, and we're going to start taking the muffler off the old one. Now the first thing we're going to want to do is loosen up these nuts and bolts. There's two of them holding the old muffler in. Just loosen them up and don't take them out. We're going to use a half-inch socket as well as a half-inch wrench to get that started. Now that those bolts are loose, the next thing you want to do is take your half-inch deep socket wrench and loosen up and take off this clamp right here. You may need to hit this with some penetrating oil to get it to break loose. Now that you got your clamp off, go ahead and take loose these bolts all the way out and start pulling this muffler off. Okay, now that it's loose, you may get lucky and be able to twist this thing to break it loose from that center pipe, and if not, you might have to tap it with a screwdriver and hammer. Yep, looks like a screwdriver and a hammer it is. Okay, if you take a look, you'll notice that there's some slots around this that move on to the tailpipe itself. So what you're going to want to do is take a hammer and your screwdriver and just try and get up under there a little bit just to loosen it up. There we go. Here's a better shot of those slots that you need to pry up a little bit. Just to get it loose. Takes a little wiggling, but it'll come right out. Now you may want to use the mounting bracket that came with your kit instead of using the tabs that are on your car. You don't have to. It may line up real well with what kind of car you're putting it on. I'll put it on mine just to show you guys how to do it. You're going to need a drill with a 13/32 inch bit. And you're going to want to line this up perfectly centered across the back, and then make sure before you start drilling to take your spare out of the trunk, because that'd be a heck of a surprise if you forgot to. And you're also going to want to make sure there's, your fuel tank or where you're mounting it, that there's nothing that's going to pop through. Okay, now that that's done, let's go ahead and grab our mounting bracket and our bolts and put it in there. Go ahead and stick them through up the top. Then, come underneath and put your bracket in place and secure it with a couple of washers and nuts as well. Once you get them on finger tight, then go ahead and get your 1/2-inch wrench and socket and tighten them up. Now that your bracket is in and secure, go ahead and put your rubber mountings in place. Okay, the next thing we're going to want to do is take our exhaust system, and I'm going to put the mounting tabs on the inside on both of them, and then we're going to take our mounting clamps. We're just going to sit them on here for now. Then we're going to take our cross piece, and this points up just a little bit, so that's going to be the top, and then we slide them in to the back all the way until it stops, and you'll feel it kind of click in there. Then once it's on there, put these mounting brackets somewhere about in the middle of this right here, and then tighten them up. Now that our rear pipes are on and secure, we're going to want to take our forward part and just slide it in here. We don't want to clamp it on just yet. What we're going to do now, what I did is I took a couple of blocks and I put them up kind of under the axle, and I'm going to rest this on it, and I want to put it in position to where it's just about going to hang, so that way we can measure and figure out where we need to cut our exhaust pipe to have it fit into this one. Now that you have your tailpipe in, go ahead and mark the spot about where you're going to want to cut it. Now, if you have a Sawzall, you can probably cut it right in place, but if you don't, you're going to have to take out these two mounting brackets and remove the pipe. Now we have a pipe hanger in the back that we're going to need to take care of, and we're just going to need to take it out. You can see it right back there. We're going to need to take that out because we're not going to be able to use it anymore. Now, go ahead and dry fit your exhaust. Put your middle section in here, and then hook your back one up to it as well. And make sure it's all going to fit right. Now that we have a good dry fit, it's time to slide the clamps into place and tighten them up. Now that we got our front clamps on good and tight, now we're going to come back here and we're going to put our bolts through our hangers up here, and once we get that all good and tight, then we'll tighten up our rear clamps and we're almost done. Alright, now that these are all secure, we're going to go double check the ones that we just did, and since we're under here, we're going to check the ones that attach to the exhaust manifold up front as well. Then once that's done, we're going to drop it down, start it up, and check it for leaks. Well guys, that's how you install a Monza exhaust system on your British car. If there's any other questions you have, always feel free to give us a call at 503-864-2001 or drop us an email at howto@bpnorthwest.com. Thanks again for watching. Enjoy the ride.